I want you to just picture your morning today.
Yeah, really think about it.
Right. And I don't mean that, the idealized, perfectly curated morning routine you see in your social feeds.
Not the cinematic version.
Exactly. Not the movie version. I mean the actual unfiltered reality of waking up in 2026.
It's intense.
It really is. You open your eyes and honestly, before your feet even touch the floor, the barrage just begins.
Oh, yeah, instantly.
Like your smart mattress politely informs you via this little haptic pulse that your REM sleep was statistically suboptimal.
Which is just a great way to start the day, right? Feeling like you failed at sleeping.
I mean, literally failing while unconscious.
Yeah.
And then your wrist vibrates with like 3 urgent, algorithmically sorted notifications from work.
Before you've even stressed.
Before you even fully open my eyes. And so you reach over, you grab your phone, and suddenly the floodgates just burst wide open.
Exactly, avalanche.
Yeah. Yes, the avalanche.
Yeah.
You're hit with global news updates, a dozen emails, and of course a social feed that instantly shows you like 5 people who are seemingly far more successful, physically fit, and well-rested than you are.
And this all happens in, what, the first 60 seconds?
60 seconds of waking consciousness. And you feel this immediate, just heavy sense of urgency.
That pressure.
Right. The pressure to be productive, to optimize, to catch up. It's already sitting on your chest like a physical weight.
It's exhausting.
It is. And then comes the tragic irony of the whole thing. You rush through your automated smart brewed coffee. You consume this nutrient-dense breakfast without actually tasting a single bite.
Because you're reading emails.
Exactly. And you sprint out the door or, you just jump onto your first virtual meeting in order to earn a living that you barely have the time or the mental bandwidth to actually enjoy.
It is a profoundly modern paradox, isn't it?
A total paradox.
I mean, we have engineered a world of absolute convenience. We've eliminated friction from almost every aspect of daily life, and we have established this constant global connection.
Yeah, everything is seamless now.
Right, but as a result, we are starting our days already in a deficit.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
A deficit? Yeah, because the very technologies and socioeconomic systems that were designed to make our lives easier have somehow just accelerated the pace of our existence.
To a terrifying degree.
Exactly, to a point where simply waking up feels like stepping onto a high-speed track that is already moving at full velocity.
Exactly. We've built this society that optimized for speed and output, but we just completely forgot to account for human psychology.
We left the human out of the equation.
We really did.
Yeah.
And that feeling, that undercurrent of constant rushing, accompanied by this very subtle, almost unnameable emptiness, that is exactly what we are exploring today.
It's a deep, deep issue.
It is. So, for this deep dive, we're pulling from some incredibly poignant source material. We're looking at a deep exploration of the concepts from a philosophy known as the Korean art of living Naksim. Well, specifically from excerpts out of a fascinating video summary by the channel True.Word0851.
Which is just a brilliant breakdown, by the way.
It really is.
Right.
Now, I want to be crystal clear about our mission today.
Oh, yeah, this is important.
If you are tuning in right now, hoping for like a new 2026 productivity hack.
Or a new app.
Right, or a clever way to time block your calendar so you can somehow squeeze 5 more tasks into your morning, you are fundamentally in the wrong place.
Precisely. We are not looking to optimize your output today at all.
No optimization here.
We are looking to investigate your underlying operating system.
I love that.
Because trying to solve the problem of modern exhaustion with more productivity hacks is, frankly, like trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
It just makes the flames higher. Today's mission is really about understanding the mechanisms behind our modern malaise.
Yes.
We want to figure out why our highly optimized, hyper-connected lives so often leave us feeling just completely hollow at the end of the day.
That emptiness.
Yeah. So we're going to extract the core wisdom of this Korean philosophy, examine the actual biology and psychology of why it works, and see how it can radically alter how you experience your day-to-day life right now, today.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the source material starts with a distinction that completely reframes how we look at our schedules.
It really does.
It draws a very hard, uncompromising line between being busy and being fulfilled.
It's a critical distinction, and it's one that modern society actively and perhaps intentionally tries to blur.
Oh, absolutely. They want us to think they're the same thing.
Exactly. Let's look at the observation the source makes about nighttime exhaustion.
Okay, yeah.
Think about how you feel at the end of, say, a typical Tuesday. You finally collapse into bed.
You're just done.
You are physically and mentally depleted. You are completely drained. But if you pause and actually look inward, in that quiet moment right before sleep, there is often this profound hollowness.
Yes, that weird empty feeling.
Right. You realize you didn't actually live the day. You merely survived it.
You survived the obstacle course of your own schedule, is what you did.
Precisely.
You just defended yourself against the onslaught of emails and demands and notifications.
Exactly. And biologically speaking, that is exactly what your body thinks you are doing, defending yourself.
Really? Like physically?
Yes, physically. We spend our days collecting achievements, right? We check off the boxes.
We answer the messages, hit the step count, finish the project sprint.
Exactly. But checking boxes can paradoxically leave a person completely empty if that pursuit lacks a foundation of internal equilibrium.
Okay, break that down for me.
Sure. So from a neurological standpoint, when you are simply rushing from task to task just to get them done, your brain is operating in a state of chronic low-grade stress.
So we're just stressed all the time.
All the time. You are accumulating what we call allostatic load.
Allostatic load.
Right, which is basically the wear and tear on the body from chronic stress.
Wow.
So you look highly productive on the outside. Society might even praise you for your incredible output, like giving you a promotion or whatever.
Employee of the month.
Exactly. But internally, you are running on fumes. You are busy, but you are not fulfilled.
Because fulfillment isn't about volume.
No, not at all.
No.
It doesn't come from the volume of tasks completed. It comes from the quality of your neuroemotional state while you're actually doing them.
But let me push back on this a little bit, because I know exactly what you, the listener, might be thinking right now.
Sure, go ahead.
In 2026, the world demands that we run fast.
It does. It really does.
I mean, the algorithms that dictate our media, the economy that dictates our wages, the whole corporate culture we exist in, they all exclusively reward speed and responsiveness.
If you're slow, you're out.
Exactly. If we slow down, if we stop to find this internal equilibrium you're talking about, don't we just get left behind?
That's the fear.
It feels like we're on a treadmill that someone else controls.
A great analogy.
Like you're sweating, your heart is pounding, you are absolutely exhausted, and the digital display on the treadmill says you've run 10 miles.
You've got the data.
Right. You have the data to prove you were productive. But when you finally step off, you realize you haven't actually moved a single inch toward actual happiness.
You're still in the exact same spot.
In the exact same room, just infinitely more tired.
What's fascinating here is that the philosophy we are diving into addresses that exact sensation of being trapped on the treadmill.
It does.
Yeah, it points out that because we are trapped in this cycle of performative busyness, our nervous systems never get a chance to downregulate.
Never. We're just always on.
We are in a chronic state of sympathetic nervous system activation.
Which is the fight or flight thing, right?
Yes, the classic fight or flight response. But in 2026, it is disguised as ambition.
Oh, wow. Disguised as ambition. That hurts.
It's true, though. The philosophy asks us to rigorously analyze our underlying motivations. Like, why are we running so fast?
Why are we on the treadmill?
Exactly. Are we running because the destination is something we genuinely value? Or are we running for the social currency of respect?
For the external validation.
Right. Or, and this is perhaps the most insidious driver of modern behavior, are we running simply because everyone else around us is running?
And our evolutionary biology just makes us terrified of standing still and being left out of the herd.
Exactly. It's the herd mentality of busyness.
It's almost like a class signifier now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like if everyone else is stressed, my stress means I'm important. It means I'm necessary.
It validates your existence.
It really does. It becomes this twisted badge of honor. Like, oh, look how exhausted I am. Look how many notifications I have. I must be a very valuable person.
Precisely. We have completely conflated exhaustion with importance.
They really have.
And in this race, as the underlying philosophy notes, we completely lose our grip on our actual lived experience.
We miss the actual life part.
We trade the quiet of the morning, the physical sensation of eating, the nuance of sitting with family, all for the illusion of progress.
Just to keep the numbers going up.
Right. But let's look at the biology of this because it's important.
Yeah, please.
If your nervous system is constantly firing, constantly bracing for the next notification, the next algorithmic shift, the next economic demand.
Which is basically every day now.
Exactly. Your brain is dedicating all of its resources to threat detection.
Threat detection.
Yes. And when you are in threat detection mode, you aren't actually experiencing life, you are just managing threats.
Managing threats. Wow. That is such a profound way to look at a Tuesday afternoon at the office.
It changes the perspective entirely.
It does. You aren't working, you're just managing incoming threats.
Exactly.
And because we are so exhausted by that constant threat management, the Source offers this major conceptual solution.
It does, and it's a beautiful one.
It points to a core Korean lifestyle principle called presence.
Presence.
Yeah. It is simply the act of doing the thing you are doing. Completely.
Which sounds so simple.
Right. On the surface, it sounds like a bumper sticker. It sounds easy. But in practice, in the modern era, it feels neurologically impossible.
It feels impossible because our brains have been structurally rewired to resist it.
Seriously rewired.
To practice true presence today requires a radical, almost uncomfortable shift in behavior.
Uncomfortable is the right word.
The concepts we are examining break this down into 3 very specific, everyday arenas that highlight exactly how far we've drifted from our own lives.
What's the first one?
The first is eating.
Eating.
The fundamental principle is if you're eating, just eat.
Just eat. No screens.
None.
No checking the news. No eating over the keyboard while drafting a response. Just the physical act of eating.
Yes.
But why is that so difficult for us? Like, why do we feel the need to stack activities all the time?
Because we have been conditioned to believe that single tasking is a massive waste of time.
Right. If you're only doing one thing, you're failing.
Exactly. But let's look at what actually happens in your body when you eat while distracted.
Okay.
Digestion is governed by the parasympathetic nervous system.
Which is the rest and digest state.
Precisely. Rest and digest. But when you sit down for a meal and immediately pull out your phone to scroll through a high-stakes news feed or fire off work emails...
Which is what everyone does.
Right. You are immediately activating the sympathetic nervous system.
The fight or flight state again?
Yes. Your body literally shunts blood away from your digestive organs and toward your extremities.
Wait, really? Because it thinks you need to fight a predator.
Because it thinks you need to run away or fight for your life, yes.
Wow.
So you are mechanically putting calories into your body, but you are biologically rejecting the actual nourishment.
You're feeding your physical body while actively starving your psychological presence.
Exactly. You aren't tasting the spices, you aren't feeling the texture, you aren't even experiencing the feeling of getting full.
You just look down and the food is gone.
Right. You are feeding your body while simultaneously overfeeding your mind with high-stress digital stimulation.
You completely miss the meal.
Entirely.
I can personally attest to this. I mean, I've had countless moments where I look down at an empty plate and genuinely cannot recall the physical act of eating the food.
It's scary when that happens.
It is, because my consciousness was entirely consumed by a spreadsheet or a podcast.
You're physically there, but mentally somewhere else.
Exactly. And this inability to single task bleeds perfectly into the second example the philosophy gives, which is conversing.
This is a huge one.
Yeah. If you're talking to someone, truly listen, which again touches on a deep cultural concept. The Korean philosophy heavily values this idea of jong.
Jeong, yes, it's
Wow.
a beautiful concept.
It really is. It's this deep, often unspoken emotional bond and connection between people. And the thing is, you cannot cultivate jong if you are partially checked out.
You absolutely cannot. And this is a massive casualty of our current lifestyle.
A huge casualty.
We are physically present in the room with our partners, our children, our friends.
But our cognitive bandwidth is just fractured.
Completely fractured. We are dedicating maybe 30% of our attention to their words, while the other 70% is lost in future planning.
Or anticipating a phantom vibration in our pocket.
Exactly, or replaying a minor conflict from earlier in the day at the office.
We nod, we are for the obligatory, yeah, oh really?
But we aren't actually there.
No, we aren't there at all.
And the tragic result of this is that our relationships become transactional and shallow.
Which feels terrible.
It does. And it's not because we lacked empathy or because we don't care about these people.
We do care.
Of course we do. But human connection requires the processing of microexpressions, tone of voice, body language.
The subtle stuff.
Right. When you are content switching between a conversation and your internal monologue about work, your brain literally drops frames.
Drops frames. Like a buffering video.
Exactly like that. You miss the subtle cues. You refuse to give the one thing that actually builds that deep bond, which is your undivided, sustained attention.
It's terrifying when you realize how much of your life you are missing while you are physically present for it?
It really is.
But then there's the third example, and this is the one that really stopped me in my tracks.
Resting.
Resting, but specifically resting without guilt.
That caveat is everything. Resting without guilt.
I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale.
It does.
To just sit on a couch or look out a window and not feel a creeping, icy sense of panic that you should be doing something else.
It's so rare today.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The philosophy talks deeply about the noise in our minds.
The constant static.
Yeah. It explains that our brains are constantly filled with the echoing opinions of others, societal expectations, and just relentless, looping worries about the future.
Endless loops.
And that internal noise makes it literally impossible to feel happiness in small things, let alone to just rest.
Because the noise doesn't stop.
Right. When you actually try to sit still and rest, that noise doesn't quiet down. It gets deafeningly loud.
It amplifies.
The guilt creeps in instantly. It's like you could be answering emails. You could be optimizing your side hustle. You could be learning a new language. You're falling behind.
That guilt you are describing is the primary symptom of a mind that has completely internalized the demands of hypercapitalism.
Completely internalized it.
We have been conditioned to believe that our baseline value as human beings is inextricably linked to our measurable output.
If I'm not producing, I'm worthless.
Exactly. When you stop producing, you feel worthless. But the philosophy asks us to imagine what would happen if we consciously chose to anchor ourselves in the physical world.
Anchor ourselves.
Yes. It emphasizes vivid sensory details, like truly feeling the morning air against your skin.
Or feeling the radiating warmth of a cup of tea in your hands.
Exactly. Noticing the architectural silence of a room or listening to slow music without trying to intellectually analyze it.
Just experiencing the raw data of the moment.
Yes, just the raw data. And the profound neurological insight here is that noticing these tiny, grounded physical sensations actually forces the mind to hit the brakes.
It overrides the noise.
It does. See, the brain has a network called the default mode network, or DMN.
DMN.
When you aren't focused on a specific task, the DMN activates. And it's responsible for mind-wandering, rumination, and worrying about the past or future.
So it's the source of that noise.
Exactly. It's the source of the guilt and the anxiety. But when you focus your attention entirely on a sensory experience,
Like the warmth of the tea.
or the sound of the rain, you actually deactivate the DMN.
Oh, wow. You can just switch it off.
Yes, you pull your consciousness forcefully back into the present moment. You cannot simultaneously process the complex sensory data of the present and ruminate on a presentation next week.
The brain has to choose one.
The brain has to choose. And this proves that peace isn't some abstract concept hidden in a giant future achievement.
Like a retirement fund.
Right. Peace is a neurological state available right now, hidden in simple moments, if you just quiet the internal noise enough to access it.
But that realization, I mean, the idea that peace is literally right there in the cup of tea or the quiet morning, it brings up a really dark, uncomfortable question.
It does.
If the cure for our exhaustion is so readily available, why do we avoid it so desperately?
Why do we run from it?
Exactly. Why do we actively, almost violently, run away from slowing down?
The philosophy we're studying reveals a very confronting truth here.
Which is
Silence has become terrifying to us.
terrifying. That is so sad, but so true.
It has become an active threat. And there is immense psychological depth to this observation.
Unpack that for me.
Well, the reason we find silence and unstructured free time deeply uncomfortable is because they remove the buffer.
The buffer of busyness.
Right. The moment you stop moving, the moment you turn off the screens and sit in the quiet, the external distractions evaporate.
They're just gone.
And what is left? You.
Just you and your thoughts.
You are forced to confront yourself. Without the buffer of busyness, you are forced to feel how profoundly fatigued you actually are.
You feel the exhaustion you've been ignoring.
Yes. You have to face how lonely you might be feeling despite your thousands of online connections.
The superficial connections, yeah.
You have to feel the physical tension you are carrying in your jaw and your shoulders.
I'm unclenching my jaw right now just hearing that.
Me too. And perhaps most terrifyingly, you might have to face a sprawling sense of inner emptiness.
It's exactly like being in a car that is making a terrible, grinding, rattling sound in the engine.
That is a perfect analogy.
Right. You know something is wrong. You know the vehicles are breaking down. But instead of pulling over, opening the hood, and diagnosing the engine,
Which takes time and effort.
and it requires you to completely stop your forward momentum So instead of doing that, you just reach over and crank up the radio.
You just drown it out,
You turn the music up so loud you can't hear the rattling anymore, the noise covers it up.
and you feel better temporarily?
Temporarily, yeah.
Yeah.
But the fundamental problem is still there. The engine is still tearing itself apart.
Our relentless busyness, our constant algorithmic scrolling, our obsession with productivity metrics, that is the loud radio.
It's all just noise to cover the rattle.
We are constantly entertaining ourselves, constantly overstimulating our visual and auditory processing centers, specifically to avoid hearing the rattling of our own psychological breakdown.
It's self-medication through distraction.
Exactly. The philosophy explicitly discusses this concept of overstimulation, and modern neuroscience backs it up perfectly.
It does.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have flooded our sensory gates so completely that our dopamine baseline has fundamentally shifted. Think of it like a thermostat in your brain.
A dopamine thermostat. I like that. How did that work?
Well, when you flood your brain with high-stress, high-reward digital inputs like rapid-fire videos, slot machine-style social feeds, constant pings, the thermostat recalibrates.
It adjusts to the new normal.
It sets a new, incredibly high baseline for what feels normal. Because of that recalibration, a quiet room no longer registers as room temperature.
What does it register as?
It registers as freezing cold.
Oh, wow. Freezing cold.
Simple moments like a quiet dinner, a walk without headphones, the sound of rain, these now feel agonizingly boring to us.
Because they aren't spiking our dopamine.
Right. We aren't just afraid of silence. We are going through actual neurochemical withdrawal when we experience it.
We've built up a tolerance.
A massive tolerance.
We need a higher and higher dose of drama, urgency, and fast-paced media just to feel like we exist.
Precisely. And this is described as a massive, almost catastrophic loss for the human experience.
It is a tragedy, really.
We have lost the capacity to find joy in the mundane. We require fireworks just to feel a spark.
Fireworks just to feel a spark. That's bleak.
But the ultimate truth offered here is that healing, the actual repair of that metaphorical car engine, the resetting of that dopamine thermostat, doesn't happen in the noise.
You can't fix it while you're driving.
You can't. It cannot happen while the radio is blaring. It only happens in the silence.
You have to stop.
You have to turn the radio off, endure the initial discomfort of the rattle, and face the silence to actually allow your parasympathetic nervous system to begin repairing the damage.
Which is incredibly difficult.
It is the hardest thing to do.
It is so hard to turn off the radio when the entire socioeconomic culture of 2026 is essentially handing you a megaphone and screaming at you to be louder, to do more, to acquire more.
Because if you sit in silence, you aren't consuming.
Exactly. And if you aren't consuming, you aren't participating in the economy.
You're a bad consumer.
Which provides a perfect logical link to the next massive concept we need to explore today.
Let's do it.
It's the modern insatiable obsession with more.
More.
More money, more success, more visibility, more validation, and how this endless chase actively destroys our biological ability to be content.
The philosophy poses a question that I think every single person listening needs to pause and genuinely ask themselves right now.
Okay, lay it on us.
Have you ever asked yourself if you truly appreciate what you already have?
Oof, that's a tough one.
It is. We live in a global culture defined entirely by accumulation. But the concepts here present a fascinating, almost mathematical formula for human misery.
A formula for misery.
It essentially states, success plus zero gratitude equals emptiness.
Success plus zero gratitude equals emptiness. It's so stark.
It is stark because it is biologically true.
Biologically.
Yes. If you lack the mechanism of gratitude, no amount of external success will ever register as enough in your brain.
Because the brain just adapts.
Exactly. You will get the promotion, you will buy the larger house, you will hit the follower milestone, and for a fleeting, ephemeral moment, you will get a hit of dopamine.
You'll feel great for like a day.
You will feel good. But because your brain's reward circuitry is trained to immediately habituate to the new normal and look for the next threat or the next goal, that satisfaction evaporates almost instantly.
It just disappears.
It's a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation.
Hedonic adaptation.
Yes, you are instantly back to feeling empty, back to chasing more, because the goalpost always moves.
It's the ultimate scam.
It really is.
We are told that if we just reach this specific horizon, we will finally be happy. But every time we take a step, the horizon recedes by a step.
You can never catch it.
But this brings up a challenge. When we talk about gratitude, a lot of people in 2026 roll their eyes.
Oh, totally.
Because gratitude has been hijacked by by toxic positivity.
It's become a corporate buzzword.
Right. It's often used as a weapon to tell people they shouldn't complain about systemic issues or poor working conditions or genuine hardship, like just be grateful you have a job.
Which is incredibly dismissive.
It is.
Yeah.
So how is this Korean philosophical approach to gratitude different from that toxic, dismissive positivity?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights the difference between chasing a mythical, perfect life and cultivating a resilient, peaceful life.
Okay, a perfect life versus a peaceful life.
The philosophy makes it very clear that a perfect life does not exist.
It's a myth.
A life without pain, frustration, or systemic friction is a marketing illusion. Toxic positivity demands you ignore the negative.
Just smile through the pain.
Right. True philosophical gratitude does not ignore the negative. It simply refuses to let the negative completely monopolize your attention.
Oh, that's a huge distinction.
It is. Contentment is not something you find hidden in the external world. It is generated entirely by where you place your attention.
Right, it's about the lens through which you view the data.
Exactly. There is a network in the brain called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS.
The RAS.
Yes. It acts as a filter for all the sensory data coming in, and it prioritizes information based on what you focus on most.
Like a search engine for your brain.
Exactly like that. Because of our evolutionary negativity bias, which kept our ancestors alive by always looking for predators, our RAS is naturally tuned to look for what is wrong, what is missing, what is dangerous.
So we're hardwired to look for the bad stuff.
Yes. And if your attention is constantly focused on what you lack, what you haven't achieved, the money you don't have, the status your neighbor has, your RAS will constantly feed you evidence of your own inadequacy.
It will just prove you right.
You will feel impoverished even if you are surrounded by relative abundance.
You could literally be a millionaire, but if you live next door to a billionaire, your RAS will only show you the yachts you can't afford.
Exactly.
You will feel poor.
Precisely. But the actionable shift offered here is incredibly powerful.
What is it?
It suggests starting your day not by looking at your phone to see the news, which instantly primes your RAS for threat and lack,
Which we all do.
but instead by consciously acknowledging what you do have.
Just taking inventory.
Exactly. Instead of complaining about what is absent, you force your brain to acknowledge what is present.
The text claims this simple, conscious shift in attention changes your entire perspective and energy.
And structurally, neurologically, that makes sense.
It's not about ignoring the fact that your roof leaks or that your boss is difficult.
No, those things are still real.
It's just rebalancing the scales of your perception. It's acknowledging, yes, work is stressful, but I have a physical body that functions today. I have a warm cup of coffee. I have 5 minutes of quiet.
You're feeding the RAS new data.
And when you actively force your brain to log those positive data points, the frantic rush for more starts to lose its grip.
You break the spell.
You break the spell of the negativity bias, which leads perfectly into how this philosophy fundamentally dismantles and redefines what it means to be wealthy.
This is my favorite part.
It completely flips the script on the concept of true luxury.
This is perhaps one of the most vital countercultural takeaways for our modern era.
Countercultural is right.
We have a very skewed, highly commercialized, algorithmic definition of luxury today.
Oh, absolutely.
We are taught that luxury is the expensive electric car, the massive smart home, the designer labels, or the social visibility where thousands of people admire us online.
The follower count as a luxury good.
Exactly. But the philosophy argues that these external markers are incredibly fragile.
Because they can be taken away.
They require constant maintenance, constant defense, and they only provide temporary satisfaction.
They're exhausting to maintain.
True. Long-term peace, actual, unshakable wealth comes from internal balance.
The source outlines its own definition of luxury, and I want to just read this out and let it hang in the air for a second, because in the context of 2026, it sounds almost utopian.
It really does.
True luxury is a calm morning, a healthy mind, slow evenings, genuine relationships, and feeling emotionally safe.
Look at the architecture of that list. A calm morning, a healthy mind, slow evenings, emotional safety.
It's beautiful.
Not a single one of those things is inherently tied to immense financial wealth or social status.
They're completely free.
They are tied to intentionality. They require you to fiercely protect your time, your attention, and your energetic boundaries.
So what does this all mean for us functionally?
It means making hard choices.
Right, because if I decide tomorrow to trade in my pursuit of the corner office and the massive mortgage for the pursuit of a slow evening and emotional safety, society is going to look at me and say, I've lost my edge.
They'll say you're settling.
Society is going to say that I've given up and that a simple life is just a euphemism for a boring, unambitious life.
And the philosophy anticipates that exact cultural criticism.
It does.
It argues fiercely that a simple life is not a boring life. It is a neurologically and mentally healthy life.
A healthy life.
When you simplify, you are not emptying your life of value. You are stripping away unnecessary noise.
Like Marie Kondo for your brain.
Exactly. You are removing the constant, exhausting friction of comparing yourself to curated avatars on the internet.
Which is a huge relief.
You are letting go of fake expectations placed on you by a hyper-connected, hyper-competitive society. And when you strip all of that artificial weight away, you aren't left with boredom.
What are you left with?
You are finally left with the emotional space to feel your real emotions.
Wow.
The philosophy makes a profound foundational statement. The quality of your life depends entirely on how deeply you experience what you have, not how much you possess.
The depth of experience versus the breadth of possession.
That is the core of it.
That is huge. If you have 100 acquaintances, but you're constantly checking your smartwatch when you're with them, you have no real connection.
No.
You have breadth, but zero depth. But if you have one true friend and you share a slow, quiet meal with them, and you practice that jam, you truly listen, you are present, and you feel emotionally safe, you are infinitely richer.
Exactly. You are experiencing the profound richness of the present moment.
Which is true luxury.
It is. But this brings us to the ultimate friction point of this entire deep dive.
I feel a but coming.
Yes. How do we take this ancient wisdom, these beautiful, calming concepts, and anchor them into the brutal, high-tech, algorithmic, fast-paced reality of 2026?
Right, because that is the real challenge. I can't just throw my smartphone into a river and move to a monastery in the mountains.
As tempting as that sounds.
I mean, some days it sounds great, but I have a hybrid work schedule, I have a mortgage, I have family who communicates via apps.
You're tied to the system.
I live in a world where my refrigerator literally emails me when I'm out of milk. We are embedded in the grid.
And the beauty of this philosophy is that it recognizes this modern paradox. It doesn't demand asceticism.
It doesn't tell you to give up your fridge.
No, it points out the reality of our era. Today, humanity possesses immense historical levels of physical comfort.
Unprecedented comfort.
We have perfect climate control, instant global food delivery, endless libraries of entertainment available at a voice command.
Everything is instant.
Yet despite this absolute comfort, we have very little psychological contentment.
Because our brains are fried.
We are incredibly seamlessly connected to the entire globe. You can video chat in high definition with someone on the other side of the planet while riding a high-speed train.
Which is miraculous if you think about it.
It is. But because our attention is entirely focused outward on that global grid, we are completely disconnected from our internal state.
We are so perpetually connected to the external network that our internal signal has been completely lost.
Precisely. So, applying the Korean art of living well in 2026 does not mean abandoning modern life or moving to the woods.
Okay, good. So what does it mean?
It means making highly conscious defensive behavioral shifts to protect your internal signal from external interference.
It's essentially a manifesto for reclaiming your own cognitive sovereignty.
That's a great way to phrase it, cognitive sovereignty.
Because they're stealing our cognition. But the behavioral shifts, it demands, they're simple, but incredibly difficult to execute.
Simple doesn't mean easy.
Right, it demands. Less phone, more presence. Less comparison, more gratitude. Less rush, more peace.
It's a daily practice.
And it really emphasizes that slowing down isn't about being lazy or dropping out of the workforce or lacking ambition.
Not at all.
It's about conscious living. It's about taking your brain off automatic mode.
We spend so much time on autopilot.
We live so much of our lives on autopilot.
Right.
Wake up, scroll, drink coffee, work, scroll, eat, watch a screen, sleep, repeat.
Just the looping script.
Conscious living is stepping out of that automated loop and actually noticing the physical reality that you are alive.
And this leads directly to the ultimate paradigm shift that this entire philosophy builds toward.
Okay.
It states clearly, the goal of life is not just to become successful. The goal of life is also to live peacefully.
That feels almost illegal to say in 2026.
It really does. Over the last few decades, we have elevated success, usually defined by income, status, and visibility, to be the singular, unquestioned metric of a good life.
It's all anyone cares about.
But success without peace is a failure of a life well lived.
A failure. Wow.
The promise here is that if you can train your brain to find genuine joy in a clean room, a warm coffee, an honest conversation, or a quiet night, life will constantly make you happy.
Because those things are abundant.
Exactly. You won't have to wait for the big promotion or the lottery win to feel joy. You will have access to joy every single day, right where you are.
Because you've intentionally lowered the threshold for happiness.
Yes, lower the threshold.
You aren't requiring the universe to hand you a massive, rare victory just to make you smile. You just need a quiet morning and a clean room.
It's empowering.
And honestly, that is a superpower in 2026. It makes you practically invincible.
You're bulletproof.
It makes you immune to the massive consumer culture that spends billions of dollars constantly telling you that you aren't enough, that you need to buy this next thing to fix yourself.
It is the ultimate rebellion.
Rebellion.
In a society that literally profits off your stress, your inadequacy, and your discontent, choosing to be peaceful and grateful is an act of defiance.
I love that so much.
When you are content, you consume less, you compare less, and you become far more difficult to manipulate.
Wow. What a way to frame it. Contentment as rebellion.
It really is.
Okay, as we bring this incredibly deep dive to a close, let's just trace the arc of what we've unpacked today.
We covered a lot of ground.
We really did. We started by looking at that distinctly modern feeling of surviving instead of living. That hollow, nighttime exhaustion that comes from running on the treadmill of performative productivity and accumulating allostatic load.
Managing the threats.
Right. We learned that our sympathetic nervous systems desperately need a break, and that true presence, just eating when we eat, listening deeply when we converse, is the biological antidote to the noise in our heads.
The only antidote.
We confronted the uncomfortable truth that we use busyness as a loud radio to drown out our own fatigue and inner emptiness, and that real neurochemical healing only happens when we bravely face the silence and let our dopamine baseline reset.
Fixing the engine.
Yes, fixing the engine. We redefine true luxury, not as material accumulation, but as time, balance, and emotional safety.
True wealth.
And ultimately, we learn that true contentment is not a destination in the future. It comes entirely from where we place our attention in the present moment.
It is a profound structural framework for navigating the absolute chaos of the modern world.
It really is.
But synthesizing all of this raises an important question. A final thought that builds on everything we've discussed about attention, the negativity bias, and our relentless obsession with moving forward.
Let's hear it.
We spend our days, our months, our years entirely focused on improving our future.
Always looking ahead.
We work punishing hours today so tomorrow will be better. We stress our bodies today so our futures will be secure. We sacrifice the present moment on the altar of a better tomorrow.
Constantly.
But if we spend our entire existence relentlessly practicing the habit of looking to the future, we guarantee that when that mythical perfect future finally arrives, we won't actually be able to enjoy it.
Because we'll just be looking at the next future.
Exactly. Because our brains will be completely hardwired by decades of habit to just look ahead to the next future.
Wow.
We render our entire existence incomplete. We treat our lives as a perpetual means to an end, never an end in itself.
We spend our whole lives frantically preparing to live, but we never actually live.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So the question to leave with is this. What would happen if, just for today, just for this one single day in 2026, you stopped trying to improve your life and finally gave yourself permission to actually experience it?
What a question to sit with.
Just for today,
Turn off the radio, listen to the engine, feel the morning air.
experience it.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Before you jump back into the hustle, the notifications, and the relentless demands of 2026, we encourage you to take one slow, mindful breath.
Just take a breath.
Just be here just for a second. We'll see you next time.